let's talk about D&D. So, Jared, initial impressions. I know how hyped you get about new pinball machines. AKA, I sent him the trailer video,
which I watched 4.5 minutes of a 6-minute video.
He didn't even make it through. Didn't even make it through the whole video.
I think I'm pretty excited about this machine.
Okay, so to clarify, I streamed, or not, I didn't stream. Before my daughter was born, I actually played D&D every week for like 2 years with my brother-in-law. There was 5 or 6 of us in the party. Awesome experience. I know D&D very well. Jared doesn't like D&D.
Well, let's okay.
Because it doesn't have enough rules.
There's not enough rules. There's too much. So let me just say my relationship with D&D.
Yep.
Playing D&D, yes, not enough rules. There's dice. We'll get out of here.
No cards. No
cards. They try to put cards. No, there's no cardboard. But D&D is owned by Wizards of the Coast.
Yes.
Guess who? What else is owned by Wizards of the Coast? Magic the Gathering. So, and there's been sets that have come out with D&D in them, and Jared must hate 1984 then. Well, what? I love 1984. The
book?
Anyway. The book?
Oh, you got him.
You got me really distracted. That's like my favorite book of all time. There's been magic sets in the D&D universe. I love the D&D universe. I find it very interesting. It's the lore. So I heard it was Forgotten Realms, which is where Baldur's Gate comes into play. I've done a little bit of Baldur's Gate. I do not know everything about Baldur's Gate. So D&D in the fantasy world, love it. It's great. So that intrigues me. Now we got a cool setting.
Okay. And I know another big thing about Magic that you like is the art. You're big on the art.
Art is good.
The art is so.
Which I've already seen a little bit of the videos from some of the cool people that got to go see it. Got to see some of the screens. Love it. The art. We're doing stuff right here. So
chat may be able to find this before I do, but who did the art on this? It was it's somebody. Oh, right here, Vincent Prose.
Oh,
does that sound familiar?
Yeah. Let's look up.
So let's do Vincent Prose Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what.
And let's see if he recognizes any.
Yes.
Any of this guy.
Yeah. So so top left combo console of allocation, one of the coolest black-white cards ever made. He did Uro. Okay, so this dude's a stud.
So you like this guy?
So fun fact, y'all probably, I don't think I talk about it a ton. In Magic the Gathering, I am a autograph collector. I love getting my cards signed because I love the artwork.
Yeah.
This dude can draw, and he's done some of the biggest cards. So actually, what's really fun if you go to Scryfall, like even right here, if he did, that's Platinum Angel on the bottom right. Like that's one of the most beautiful cards that's ever been made. So the dude is a stud. He's been doing it forever. I think that came out 12 years ago. That's an older card. Celestial card. Okay, I'm wrong. Anyway, sweet art, love it. The dude is a stud. I think
that was a different dude.
Oh,
still.
Anyway, if he did her, I think he did her. That doesn't matter. Anyway, dude's a stud.
This guy. Yeah. There we go.
The art is sick. So yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so you're on board with this guy.
Yeah.
So your initial impressions of just looking at the cabinets, art.
I mean, if you go back, they literally did a YouTube video about this guy in Magic.
Yeah.
Like Ristic Studies, who's one of the biggest, one of the greatest, probably the best, one of the best Magic guys, creators. He did a whole video about him. So this dude's a stud.
Okay. So they made the right choice, is what I'm hearing when it comes to the artist.
100%, because there's a lot of crossover between Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, this is a Jared stream tonight. He's in his zone. He is, yes. So
we're talking about art, and we're talking about fantasy art. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What I will say is, seeing the game in person, there is a ton of art on this game, and the guy did not hold back. If I look at like some of the side art on the Pro and Premium, it's creepy. Like it's a very much a fantasy. Like you got this kind of weird bearded dude on one side. There's a weird wizard. I think it's on the Premium. That it's like, okay, there may actually. I hope my son is not scared of this art at all, because they went
hold
hard.
Up. Let's just look. We got some people on some dragons.
Oh yeah,
and we're going. Okay, it is Xanathar. I was wondering if so. Here's where we'll need some help for all the people that are D&D lore people. If we don't know the name of somebody, because that was one of the questions. So this brings me a little bit, since we're talking about art.
It's this guy on the side. Let me see if I can find another.
We're talking a little bit about the art and the package and the thing. I think of even the pictures I've seen, it looks amazing. Story. Oh, dude,
that's the LE.
Come on.
Okay.
Dear Stern, give me some t-shirts, please.
They don't do t-shirts.
I know, they need to do t-shirts. Yeah. They need to do Metallica Remastered. That's why I should have gone. To tell Stern to make t-shirts.
To do t-shirts. Okay, so this guy, that guy's creepy looking. Okay. He's on the LE.
That's awesome.
The art on the game, so the LE, it has the metallic sides. It has the metallic everything. I will say the back glass seemed like underplayed in a way, like because it's a mirrored back glass. There are some mirrored back glasses like Mando where 20% of the back glass is mirroring. And I felt like it was a little more subtle, but they also have all the green lightning bolts here in the back glass here are like glittered. So I don't know if this art is your wheelhouse, and I think they stuck with the retro art feel, and it's
not full retro, and that's Tiamat on the side, by the way, the 5-headed dragon.
Got it.
So the thing about it is, so you have in fantasy art, you kind of have like original D&D art.
Yeah.
Which is very, it's a lot darker. Most of it was in black and white, very heavy shading and things like that. This is what I would call the newer, which kind of starts in the late 90s into kind of like modern. And then you get kind of nowadays where it's very bright. Like a lot of fantasy art is a lot of color, a lot more pinks and purples and things like that. This seems to be, they're kind of hitting that sweet spot of the 2000s to like 2010s ish, where it's still dark, but there's a lot of color. And when color is put in, it's really like adding to the scene. So like, I mean, that Beholder right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sick. You got green, but it's still dark. It still kind of feels so. At least from the art package,
I think the art
it's sick. It's great.
So here's my thing. My when I think of D&D visually, I mean, when you're playing the game, it's a story that your DM, your dungeon master, is creating. And so he might find art, like my brother-in-law, he printed off a lot of minifigs, so we were interacting with the game 3D. So it's not like it's not like a video game or a movie. So I didn't have a ton of art in my head besides the monster manual or besides the player's handbook, which just has illustrations throughout the handbook. And obviously this like took that and just went nuts on it. It really dove into that art style. The visual thing that I've started to get into more is Vox Machina. So Vox Machina, the show based on Critical Role, which that is more of just straight up animation.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, if they're going to do art here, they're either going to go animation and go Vox Machina, or they're going to lean into like all of the art you see in the player's handbook and the monster manual and everything. And that's what they did. So I have no doubt, chat, tell me if I'm wrong, but if you are a D&D fan or somebody that has enjoyed D&D for many years, I would be surprised if you don't like this art package, because it's about as true to that art as you could ever hope for. So the art is great. And when you see it in person, you know, some people talk about certain play fields look more cluttered, or there's so much going on in the art that it's hard to understand what you're looking at or whatever. I did not get that feeling at all. I think we're actually going to draw on this. I think the way that it's separated between the map And then you have this like fire burst area right here from the dragon, which is awesome. This gelatinous cube lane, basically, this is what you're going to shoot to get back here to the gelatinous cube. He really varied it up. He varied it up so much that when I was trying to pick a pin color to draw on this screen, there isn't a good color because he's used them all. He's used them all, but yet the game doesn't look like Rainbow Puke or anything like that. So
well, it's kind of like they got a guy that is an absolute stud in this type of artwork.
Yeah.
And they let him go nuts.
They just
on
let
the
him do his
machine.
thing. Yeah.
Because I don't think I have a good feeling Vincent has never done a pinball machine before.
No.
So I'm definitely interested in that. But from if it's, hey, we need to put a bunch of you have so much space to work with.
Yeah.
Because remember, this guy's mainly doing art for books.
Books.
And
He's
then cards.
he's given like small areas,
Yeah.
and yet the guy
So
ran with it.
It's sick. This is very cool. Now, where the first question that I have.
We don't use stud anymore. We use Giga Chad. Wow.
No, I use stud. I was born in the 80s.
Well, real quick, between pro and premium, I personally what I like better is I like the translite on the pro better because you have this huge dragon right here in the middle coming right at you. But I like the cabinet art of these two dragons going at each other on the premium. But honestly, those are the two art packages I like the best.
I would take.
But yet the two dragons fighting here on the LE is
I would
pretty
get
sick.
the premium with the dragons, but
Yeah.
then I'd take the limited edition glass and put it on the premium.
Well,
But that's
good
just
luck getting
because-
the limited edition glass.
That's
but
just
yes.
because of I'm not the biggest Beholder guy, so I was kind of glad they didn't go Beholder crazy on this.
And that's the other thing. Beholder, when you think of D&D, people typically think of a mimic, which is like a treasure chest with a big tongue. It's a trick. It's a trap. They think of a mimic, or they think of a dragon, or they think of a beholder, which is this guy, the Mike Wazowski that everybody's talking about. So honestly, what are they going to do for the topper? In my opinion, it's either going to probably be something beholder related because he doesn't have a huge sculpt on the playfield,
it's gonna be
or
beholder.
it might be a mimic. Or what do you think? Like, I think that's probably going to be just because there is a mimic on the playfield. It's over here to the left, but it's just a flat plastic.
I think a mimic would be tight. Oh,
So-
an owlbear, yes.
An owlbear.
The best creature. Owlbears.
Owlbear.
Yes.
So owlbears are in the game, and we
Or
can
a little
talk about
goblin.
that. Okay, so let's talk about. Well, okay, so
Story.
first and foremost, Gomez let it slip. It's a mimic. Okay,
Great.
well that makes total sense.
We're so smart.
So one thing Zach had said was he was considering if we're going to do this chat, he was potentially going to pull out a section of this stream and then just post it as a separate video. So, hey, my name's Joel. This is the Flip N Out stream. This is my brother Jared. We're doing a first impressions video here talking about D&D. I'm just giving him something he can just cut and paste. It's so good. It's such a great intro.
Oh, we've already talked
Yeah.
about. Anyway.
I know. So that's if you want to talk about art, click the stream. If you want to talk about the gameplay, keep watching. Yeah, we're nailing
Oh,
it.
it's because
We're nailing
we don't want to
it.
talk
Yeah.
about art.
We're nailing it. Yay, editing.
Gameplay.
Let's talk about gameplay. So I was at Stern yesterday, and I had a chance to play this game. First and
What?
foremost, on the you got to be.
Joel got invited. I had to work.
Yeah. So, first and foremost, I think the Stern stream, it was 16 minutes. Dwight and Brian did a great job explaining the game. But one thing, they were having Nick Wayna play the game, and they just had Nick keep trapping up so that they could explain what to do. So I just want to talk first and foremost about the physical layout of the game. The game actually shoots very well. It shoots very well. This shot over here, it's basically like a, I don't know, the ball goes in and it just holds it. And then after, that's the store. And then what it does is it actually kicks out and goes over here. Cool. And it was very consistent. Now, underneath this cube is a magnet. So the magnet will grab it. It'll hold the ball under the cube and then basically drop the ball straight to your flipper. And from this flipper, you can either hit an inner orbit, which is right here, or this inner loop. And both of those are very smooth, like relatively easy to hit shots. We actually had a lot of fun with that shot. You can also like short plunge and drop it on here and then hit that as like a secret skill shot.
Cool.
I don't have my touchscreen. It's just, yeah. So it's great. Like I was super impressed with the side shot for Brian Eddy, who's a two flipper. A lot of his games are two flippers. This third flipper actually adds a lot to the game. and it is fun. Backhandable shots. There were some people that were able to backhand this ramp, but I was never able to do that. One thing I was able to do, though, was you can backhand this shot, and this horseshoe actually turns around and it feeds the flipper. So if you're on the lower right flipper and you need to hit one of those upper left shots, you can just backhand. It'll feed the flipper, and then you have a shot at it. This left orbit, I found myself hitting the left orbit a lot, and it was needed a lot. The reason being is it's an up-down ramp. So if you hit it normally when the flap is up, it's an orbit shot, and you got to be ready. It is fast. So that's another way to feed the flipper. Otherwise, if the flap right here is down, then it actually goes up this ramp and will feed the cube or go past the cube and feed the right flipper. So you actually the left orbit is essentially kind of a left ramp, or it's a left orbit. Okay. Can we talk about how it's very similar? I don't agree with it being very similar to Labyrinth. Like Labyrinth, I understand over here there's a third flipper. Over here is the hole, which is the worm. But as somebody who's played it, like Labyrinth had this shot up here that would feed to the left. It had a whole horseshoe over here where you started your modes. I don't know. I think I definitely did not get the vibe. Like I wasn't there playing the game and I'm like, wow, that really felt like Labyrinth. I did not get that feeling at all. Okay. Well, what is fun though is this dragon. There are 3 stand-up targets in front of this dragon, and the dragon's head moves. So on a pro or premium and LE, it moves side to side and up and down. On a pro, it's just up and down.
So better than Jaws.
Does the pro have the flip-up ramp? Yes.
Okay. So all the versions.
So what is different?
Have the ramp.
What is different between the pro and the premium?
Gelatinous cubes, maybe?
No. Everything you see here, it looks like literally from the top down, the game looks identical. The pro and the premium, LE, and the pro.
Okay.
So the premium, the head can go back and forth.
Okay.
And up and down. The pro, the head only goes up and down.
Okay.
Only goes up and down.
So it's not blocking your shots.
No.
Like the premium is. Okay.
The other thing is the premium and LE, they have an ability where this shoots back here. There's a diverter somewhere back here that will divert balls down into a trough that's somewhere back here. And then the dragon will spit balls at you. Balls will come out of the dragon's mouth.
Okay.
So the dragon doesn't eat the ball, but he spits the ball at you.
So it's even better.
Yes. So the premium LE, blah, 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 he will spit balls at you. And normally he's turning his head while he's doing it.
Okay.
On a pro, does not spit the ball.
No
so
the balls.
What are you missing? You're missing the vuck that's feeding the dragon's mouth. You're missing the trough back there. You're missing the diverter so that the auto plunge does that. So the dragon's not going to spit the ball at you, and the dragon's head does not go side to side. That's on a pro. So what it does when you're in Dragon Multiball, what's cool about that is Dragon Multiball is different. It's not your typical multiball. What it is you'll see on the screen, he just keeps shooting balls at you, and you have to hit him like 10 times before you drain like 10 balls.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
It's really cool.
I like this.
So every time there's 8 balls in the premium and LE.
That's a lot of
8 balls.
Silver
so if you're
balls.
thinking you're trying to keep 8 balls above the
Bang,
flipper,
bang, bang,
no,
bang.
they're going to be draining, and when they drain, what's it going to do? It's going to be fed to the dragon, and he's spitting it back at you.
That's pretty cool.
So how does that work with the pro if the dragon's not spitting balls? What it does is it just auto launches, so it goes around the orbit, and then the balls are coming at you down here from the left orbit.
Okay.
So instead of the head like blah 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 turning, it's just always coming at a consistent area from that left orbit. With that said, that's still fun. The pro is still fun. The pro only has 6 balls; it doesn't have 8 balls. But the pro
Could
that
you
that
put 8 balls in it?
no, because the trough can only hold 6.
I don't
So
know, pinball.
the Pro Dragon Multiball, is it as good as the Premium LE? No. But is it still a very chaotic and enjoyable multiball? 100%.
But on the Pro, you're still getting the full dragon sculpt.
All of it.
You're getting the gelatinous cube.
Yep, with the magnet.
Okay, you got the magnet, so okay, we're not...
How repeatable is the orbit shot from the upper flipper? Very. Like this loop, you can absolutely... That's terrible.
So the red arrows, that's a loop.
This is a loop.
That's
it goes like that. Yeah.
So we got a loop there.
Yep.
We got a loop with the purple.
This is a ramp.
Or ramp.
That goes that way.
And then
comes that
this
way.
blue is
this blue feeds the upper flipper.
Oh, nice.
And then this is a ramp that goes down this way.
Okay.
And then orbit and orbit.
So you have a left shot. So if you do the left, it's either a loop or a ramp.
Yep.
So if you get the ramp, that feeds back to the right flipper.
So you could do this, and then you could go that way. Like, you can combo.
Okay,
you can absolutely combo shots.
That's with it. But if you get the ramp, it goes up, and then it could go.
It could be stopped by the magnet
goes
on the cube.
through the gelatinous cube.
Yeah. Otherwise, it goes through.
So
gelatinous. Let's talk more about the dragon head, though. What's cool about that multi-ball is you have to wait for the head to actually come down to hit it.
Oh.
So you're trying to just keep the balls alive, but you're also watching the dragon head. And when you see him swing his head down, that's when you're like, I got to shoot that way now.
I feel like the pro
bop him in the
strategy
jaw.
is you're just firing. You're just getting that
Well,
dragon.
One thing that I did see, though, is the higher end players. So Tom Graff was there, Neil Graff was there, Travis was there.
Lame.
They were trying to cradle up, like multiple 4 or 5 balls on one flipper and then hold and wait. Now, what's cool is what Elizabeth Gieske, who's on code, as well as Dwight, what they said is the point of the multi-ball isn't just to beat the multi-ball. There are jackpot shots. There are other points related shots going on. So you don't have to focus on the dragon. You can try to capitalize on jackpots, but if you're not paying enough attention and you drain too many balls, it's out. You're out. The multi-ball's over. So, and if you actually beat the dragon, though, then you can get to this celebration. It's called Town Celebration multi-ball. So it's like a victory laps where then you're not having the chaos of spit the balls.
Because you defeated the dragon.
Yeah. It's actually a very fun multi-ball.
Which I believe you're trying to steal the gold from the dragon.
You are. Well, to start it says dragon here, so it's 6 shots. I think 3 are lit by default, at least the settings we're on. So you have to hit the gold shot 3 times. The gold shot, though, is dangerous. It is dangerous because it's a wall. And so if you're not paying attention and you hit that ball can come screaming back at you. So let's talk about the shield. There is a physical device between the flippers that you can hit the action button and the shield will pop up, and that will fully fill up that gap between the flippers. What's cool, though, is you can actually let a ball just rest, and it will rest between the tip of the flipper and that part of the shield. And the way the shield's formed, it actually sets up the ball pretty well that you can then take a shot off it. So even if a ball rests right there on the shield, you can still take that shot.
So did someone finally figure out a shield that works in pinball?
Yeah, it works very, very well. And what's also cool...
All we needed to do is make a curve.
Yeah,
Good job. Good job, pinball engineers.
Also, what's really cool about the shield is to relight it, you just have to basically go through the in lanes, and you can trigger those with the flipper. So if you spam the ramp a few times, you can actually relight your shield. And depending on which character you pick, sometimes the shield will last longer than others, as well as there are different perks in the game where the shield will last longer than others. I found myself using the shield a lot. And the shield is not a reaction thing. It's not like, oh, I'm about to drain, hit the shield. It's more like, I know I'm about to take a dangerous shot, or I'm about to be at a part in a mode where I don't want to fail. Let me throw my shield up so I feel safe for the next 10
So you're saying the
seconds.
shield is a strategic move?
Absolutely.
All right.
It's a preemptive move. It's awesome. It works really...
Can I have the shield up at all times?
No.
Dear Dwight,
No.
put in Jared mode.
No. By the way, chat, we are looking at chat. Thank you so much. I love seeing how active it is. And I saw Todd Tucky in chat. So, hey, Todd, I hope you're
There
doing
was
well,
a
man.
question about the dungeon.
Okay.
And if it was in the pro.
Let's talk about the dungeon. This right here is the dungeon crawl, is what it's called. So it is basically a scoop that will pop up from the game, and you can spit it in, and then it takes your ball. And the idea is it's a hurry up mode. You are quickly what you have to do to light dungeon crawl is there's actually a stand up right here, and there's a stand up right here, and you have to hit those 2 stand ups a certain number of times. And when you're not in a mode, then you can hit this spinner in the middle, which is a vuck. So you hit the spinner, and then it spits vertical up
there's
kick.
a vuck.
Vertical up kick. It'll stick it up here, And then what'll happen is that's when the scoop pops up, and you have a certain amount of time to shoot the ball in there.
Cool.
How do you that scoop that pops up and down is not on the Pro. So what's on the Pro? It's just a plastic. So what happens is it's the same thing. You hit the dungeon targets, you hit the spinner up the middle, but the only difference is now your hurry up is to hit the spinner up the middle again. That's it. So it feels very similar, in my opinion. Hitting the actual physical scoop is cooler. It is a cooler visual effect. But honestly,
you're still kind of hitting the same shot.
The difference between the Pro and the Premium, I feel it's very similar to X-Men, where like X-Men, I felt like the Pro is such a good deal.
Yes.
Like X-Men, sure, you lose the hands.
Yeah.
But all the shots are there. Everything, like I feel like the actual experience is there. So if you're on the fence, I think the Pro is a fantastic buy on this game. An absolutely fantastic.
Because the dragon's head is still moving. You just lose the dungeon. Okay.
You lose the dungeon, the up-down scoop, and you lose him spitting the balls at you.
It still sounds like a fun multi.
It's very cool.
So,
yeah.
See what's up.
Okay. So, what else? So, what's cool about this game? I enjoy the way it shoots. And this magnet over here, the way that the magnet, it can stop the ball on top of the ramp, and it can stop the ball underneath.
Sounds like there's multiple magnets going
No,
on.
it's one magnet, but the way the magnet is placed, the core can grab a ball on the top and the bottom.
Because of electricity.
Yeah. And what's really neat is that gelatinous cube multi-ball, there's a way that you can play it 2-ball, 3-ball, or 4-ball. And it's all about you hit this shot enough, you'll see it light blue, you'll lock the ball on top, then you have an ability to lock a ball again on bottom, and then I think the ramp comes down and it gives you the ability to lock it up top again. Like you can set it up to get to a 4-ball multi-ball or a 3-ball, or what you end up doing, I think, is you go up top and then maybe that's what it is. Maybe you go up top, and if you go up top again, it starts and it's 2-ball. But maybe you go up top and then you do this shot and it would feed it underneath, and that's how it locks. I don't know. I never got to the 4-ball, but I know it's possible. So overall, physical, I just think I really enjoy the way it shoots. I think it's a fun shooter. It's not revolutionary. Like, it's not like there's a shot that I've never experienced in pinball, but it's fun. It's a fun layout, and the way that the game's coded, you really do explore all the different shots. And I found every shot in the game, there was no shot in the game that I was like, oh no, my shot's on that, and that shot's impossible. Like, I felt like these upper flipper shots, I mean, this loop or that ramp's probably the hardest shot, but there's multiple different ways to feed this upper right flipper. So you feel like you actually get a lot of chances at hitting those shots, which is fun.
That's good.
This last thing, though, this is my only concern in the game. This captive ball is called the critical hit. So in D&D, before you do any action, you roll a d20, a 20-sided die. If you ever roll a 1, like if you're swinging a sword, not only did you miss, your sword is now stuck in a tree, or your sword broke. You know, like a critical fail is bad. The opposite side of that is you roll a 20, that's a critical hit. Yeah. So normally it does double damage, or it does something ridiculous, or it does like, you know what, there's no reason this should hit this guy, but you rolled a 20, so we're going to let it work. So they call this shot the critical hit. The way it's coded right now is the critical hit you can hit at any time, and it will just spot you a shot. It'll spot you something that you need. So theoretically, right now, if you got into a mode, you could ignore all the mode shots and you could just keep bashing that shot, and you could theoretically get through the mode. I don't know if that's the goal, is to just leave that. I would love for them to add a cool-off period or something you have to do to qualify it, or like you can hit the critical hit, but then you have to hit another shot before you hit it again. They will do something. I just, as of right now, what I did find was there were times when I was playing yesterday and I thought, I could hit that shot, or, you know what, it's easier for me, I'm just going to go at the captive ball. Boom, hit the captive ball. All right.
I wonder, that feels like one of those when this thing gets out in the wild and some person, not us, completely blows up the machine.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're going to do something.
Well, if you or I blow up the machine, I think they would
if
know.
we blow up the machine,
I think they would know
they
we need to do
so
something.
maybe we need to blow it up.
Yeah. Or a Foo Fighter. I like that idea where it could spot you a shot, or it could be a critical fail. Like, if you throw in that risk of it might spot you the shot you want, or it could remove a shot you already hit. You went backwards, something like that. That's actually not a bad idea. I think that's actually pretty clever. So, okay, let's talk about the code. This is something that I think is still... People are worried about it or confused, but let's talk about this map. I know it's pixelated. This is the best picture I got.
Joel, don't you have a degree in
Let me
art?
Enhance. Okay, so on the map, there are 6 cities. There's the main city in the middle, but then here's one. Oh God, it's terrible.
Do you know all the names of the city?
I do not. There's a city here. There's a city here. There's 6 cities. So, and then each city has a different amount of modes. So what I mean is these 2 bottom cities, there's only one mode attached to each of those cities. Which pixel is the city? I don't know how to help you with that. I can't make it better, okay? I can do
Joel,
this.
you were there. Did you not get high-res shots of the cities?
No, I'm a bum. I didn't take a single...
Did you just play the game?
Picture. Is that... It's no better. That's what I'm saying. It's no better. Okay, so... Which pixel is the city?
Bum.
So, okay, so the bottom cities, there's only one mode each.
Arabelle
the
and
middle
West
cities, Green Nest and something, Cobalt Town.
Cobalt?
There are 3 modes each. Critical fail. Carl, I hope you're doing well, man. Good seeing you. The top 2 cities have 2 modes each.
Oh.
So if we do some math, 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 is?
14.
It's 12. So, close that. It's 12, yeah. All right.
I didn't know I was supposed to be adding.
I threw you.
You just started throwing me numbers.
I threw you under the bus there. I'm sorry. So,
What's
cool
7
though,
plus 90?
Yeah. What is cool though is I talked to Elizabeth. Elizabeth did all the modes, and one thing she said is two of the modes. When you start the mode, you are either picking offense or defense. So even though it's one mode, it basically has 2 paths. So she's like, I feel like I wrote 14 modes. That's a lot of modes.
Wait, 12 modes.
12, but 2 of the modes kind of have 2 options.
I thought
that's
all
how you get
modes
to
had
14.
2.
Not only that, not only are there 14 modes, or 12, there's 12 modes, but once you complete all the modes within a city, so if I'm down here in Westgate and I complete the 1 mode in Westgate, that unlocks the dungeon. The dungeon is totally different than this dungeon crawl thing. This dungeon, and I can get to that. The dungeon is essentially like a mini wizard mode for that city. So the dungeon, there's 6 cities, so there's 6 dungeons.
That's a lot of dungeons.
And so each dungeon has multiple phases.
So now we're up to 20.
So, yeah.
Plus multiple phases.
So I'm pretty sure
this sounds like it's a complicated game.
I'm pretty sure the bottom 2 cities, which each have 1 mode, the dungeon has 2 phases.
It's probably easier.
Then the city with 2 modes, I think, has 3 phases, and the city with 3 modes has 4 phases. So, and it may be different. It may be where the one mode city actually has the hardest dungeon. I don't know. But what I will tell you is each phase feels different. It's like when I got into one of the dungeons, it was, like I was in a room and I had to find a passageway to go down another, and then now that I'm in that phase, I'm in a battle, and then you go down another, and now I'm in this phase. It's totally different. So it's really a lot of, like, that's what excites me. As Jared and I don't know if it's obvious, but we don't really care about points because we don't get them.
Wait,
often.
Pinball machines have points associated with them?
Jackpot.
What?
Who cares? Yeah.
I don't even know what these wizard modes that everybody keeps talking about.
2 times Playfield multiplier. I'll tell you right here. If you care about points, Carl, if you're still here, if you hit this target right here, secret door, enough, it will light this insert right here, which is I think it's Playfield multiplier. And if you hit under this flipper, it starts double scoring, which means 2 times the points. And then you can keep hitting this target while in double scoring, and it will keep it going. It will keep it going. So if you care about points, they're there. But we
points
don't.
in the games.
We don't care about points.
I want these modes and dungeons and phases.
what we care about is story, is a journey,
Yes.
and that's what excites me about
And
this.
hold up, they said Gerard Wade is in this game from
Yes.
My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, here's your. Let me see how many of these people you know.
I
Jared.
knew
is
Kevin
going
Smith because that
Why is this
on
doing that?
the 4.5 of the 6 minutes that I watched. I heard Kevin Smith's voice, and I said, "Oh, that's a Kevin Smith," which totally
yes.
makes sense. He's a giant Nord. Gerard Wade makes sense. Some people maybe go, "Why is the My Chemical Romance in here?"
Okay.
Dude writes comic books for fun. He's
If
into
you
this.
look at this is the voice talent they got. Michael Dorn, I think he does Star Trek something. Very deep voice.
He's been like the dragon in everything.
Geeski's here. Geeski.
Hi.
Okay. For the towns that only have one mode,
No, don't. This is
do they
spreadsheet talk.
have
She's
do
pulling
they
out
have
the spreadsheet.
only 2 phases for the dungeon, or do they have the deeper dungeons? That was my
No.
Okay, Kevin Smith. But some of these guys are from Critical Role.
So Luke-
like Matt Mercer he's one of those popular
so Luke
DMs.
Gygax would
Laura,
be
Marissa Ray.
related to Gary
Yeah.
Gygax, which is the
Trek
guy
something.
that made it.
2 levels. Thank you, Geeski. So the towns with one mode have the easy dungeons. Only 2 levels, and then it gets deeper and deeper. Awesome.
So they got the Critical Role people in here.
They got not all of them, but some of them. I mean, the voice talent is ridiculous, and one thing that Elizabeth said is her 3 favorite characters are the characters that you unlock by beating the game.
What? There's hidden characters?
Yes. So it's just like it's like Venom, where if you beat Noel, then you unlock Wolverine or you unlock Hulk.
Okay. So this
Yeah.
is my one concern's not the word, but Venom. Okay, a lot of stuff.
It's not Reading Rainbow. LeVar
what's-
Burton. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mika Bird. Sorry, you got Reed Rainbow's the best. So are we saving a character? Are we doing all that
I don't know
stuff?
the story. Dwight wrote the whole story.
No,
but
but
we
I'm
can
saying,
unlock
like-
a bard, we can unlock a rogue, and we can unlock a Goliath.
So those are not initially in the game.
No.
Because initially it's a paladin,
Wizard.
wizard, dwarf.
Fighter, I think.
Fighter.
It's like a Dragonborn fighter.
Isn't the paladin? Isn't that voiced by Kevin Smith?
No, I think the Dragonborn
The
fighter.
Dragonborn. Ah.
Okay, so back to the modes. So what excites me about these modes is how different they felt. I only played a few of them, and like one of them, I'm on a dock, and you're trying to get to a ship, and so you're on a dock, and you have to fight these creatures. Once you fight the creatures, then you're on the ship,
Normal fantasy
and you're
stuff.
looking for stuff on a ship.
Yeah.
But of course, creatures keep
Barbarian,
coming.
Sorry.
So, like, you'll see, orange or yellow shots, those are the shots you were, like, searching for something, but then all of a sudden these red shots are getting in your way, and those are the creatures that you're trying to attack.
Stupid creatures.
It's awesome. Then there's another one, and this was the mode that I liked the best, which was you're in a room, and you're looking for a piece of armor, but you have to be stealthy.
Sneak.
So there's a stealth percentage, and every time the ball hits the slings, the percentage goes down.
Because
And
it's
if-
making noise.
You're making noise. And if
I
the
love
percentage ever gets to 0, you woke the guards up, and now all of a sudden there's like 3 bad guys on the playfield.
Gotta kill those
You
bad
have
guys.
to beat them for you to continue to hit the
then get
shots you need.
sneaky again.
So it's you either hit 10 shots,
Which isn't happening.
or you have to hit 3 or 4, your slings have gone off, you now have to defeat guards and still hit the shots you haven't hit.
That's awesome.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm excited about. These story-based, unique modes that aren't just hit everything or like buy a super jackpot. It's like it actually feels unique. There's a story here.
I love that my hate for points has like come over to you, and your
No, I've
hate
never
has
cared about
grown
points. I've never cared
for
about
the
points.
points.
You know what I do care about though is yesterday I did get more points than Mr. Tom Graff of Fox Cities Pinball. Just saying. It
So
happened.
by the process of elimination, you are better than Top Graph.
At one
Yes,
game, absolutely.
yes.
Yeah.
But didn't his son beat you?
Nah, we're just moving on. So, the Owlbear is in the game. I have not seen it, but I think what happens
Where's
with
the
the
Owlbear?
Owlbear
So
is
sneaky.
the way the game starts is you start in a town and you're going to hit a certain number of yellow shots, and that's where you either can play a mode in that town or
Owlbear.
you can travel. You can go to another town. I think the Owlbear happens when you're traveling, where I think you can be
where
potentially attacked
where
or
does the Owlbear
surprised. I think it's a battle. It's a battle that you have
No,
to
but
get
I'm saying
to.
owlbears live in the forest.
There you go.
So you're traveling in between. Owlbears don't live in cities.
Yeah. So
Goblins live in cities.
is that Geeski? Is that correct? Is that what the owlbear? Is it during or maybe that's the better question. While you're traveling, you can potentially be ambushed or attacked, right?
Owlbears.
The question is, why would you travel? If you look down
Why
here,
would you travel, Joel?
That's a great question, Jared. Thanks for asking.
Okay, glad to be here.
Arabelle, this town. Yes, I was right. Yes, here we go. This town, if you look, there is a number 1 and it's purple. I know, look at the 4 pixels, but it's 1.
There's like 20 pixels,
and it's
guys.
Purple, okay?
Come on.
Well, if we look, this town, Cobalt Town, has a 2 that's purple. And I think the 3rd purple is up here. So the idea is, if you do 1, 2, and 3 of the purple modes, you can see they're in different towns. If you do all 3 of those modes, you can earn an artifact. And an artifact is a power-up. They're the most powerful power-ups in the games. There's 4 of them. And those power-ups are going to help you in your journey as you get deeper. So they're going to make you more powerful, or they're going to make your shield stronger. Or if it's a ranged weapon, there's ranged weapons in the game. Ranged weapons, the way that those work is if you look at all the major shots, there's a little triangle. So let's say I'm in a mode and I'm fighting a creature, and this creature happens to be on this shot.
Okay.
Well, both of those arrows are going to be red. That's going to signify there's a creature here.
Red is creature.
So if you shoot it with the ball, you're going to do damage to the creature, and you'll see your 4 party characters, your 4 party members are all going to roll. Some will hit, some won't. It'll do damage to the creature. But you have a ranged weapon. So what does that mean is if you cradle up and you hold down your action button, all of a sudden there will be a blue arrow that will be quickly scrolling across all of these small arrows. It's very similar to the bishop shot in X-Men. I want to clarify, though, that Dwight did it first. Because I said to Dwight, I said, oh, it's like the bishop shot in X-Men. He goes, nope, I did it first. So
Don't mess with Dwight.
Dwight did it first.
He'll fight you.
So it's very fast, though. It's like, and you want to let go of the button when the arrow's where you want it to be. And if you hit the guy,
this is a button thing.
Yeah, you're going to push the button. It's going to go. You're going to let it go. If you hit the guy, it does damage.
Cool.
If the arrow is somewhere else, you can distract the guy. You can use it as a distraction. So what's cool about like the artifacts, though, is you can power up like certain characters are more powerful in dexterity, which deals with ranged weapons. So their arrow moves a little slower. Or if you power up, you can get to the point where instead of 1 arrow scrolling across, you now have 2 arrows scrolling across.
Because you can totally fire a bow and arrow with 2 arrows on it.
Yep.
Legolas can do it. You can.
So there are perks like that where strength will make your shots do more damage. Dexterity will help with your ranged weapons. I think it's Constitution will help with the shield being up more. You know, there's stuff like that they're building into the game. They can't go fully into D&D, which with really crazy mechanics. But that was something that I did find once I knew that the ranged weapons were in the game. There were times where I'm like, cradled up, that guy's on a tough shot, let me use my ranged weapon. And then the ranged weapon has a cooldown period. So you can use it multiple times in a battle. So to actually feel like you're using ranged weapons in a battle, you're using your shield in a battle, and you're trying to strategically either hit the guy or ignore the guy and try to like search or do the other things you're trying to do in the mode, really made it a lot of fun for me. I'm excited to explore this game more. And there's pin save. So what's really cool about that is if I beat 2 modes, 3-ball game and the game's over, when I hit start again, if I choose that same character, those 2 modes are already complete, and I'm still where I was before.
Are we leveling it up, people?
You are.
Okay. Is this a similar leveling up to Venom, or
Yes.
is it a little different? What are we doing with levels?
So I asked Dwight about that, and with the level up system, I said, the stronger you get, does that make the game easier? And he said, not necessarily, because the bad guys will level up with you as well.
Oh, that's fun.
So that's what's cool is what you are gaining, though, is you're gaining gold, so you're able to buy more artifacts, or you're buying more perks. You're getting through modes, so you're working your way through the storyline to get towards that final wizard mode. And you're also potentially, if you're doing the different numbers, like if I do all the purples, all the greens, I may get artifacts, and now I'm very leveled up to make that final guy. I say final guy. Apparently, there are 3 final wizard modes.
There's a lot of bad people in
There's
the
3 of
Forgotten
them.
Realms.
And on top of that, Geeski's writing those modes apparently, so that's
Geeski, get to work.
Elizabeth is,
get off the street.
She knows
Time.
she knows how to. She does modes very well. She does modes very well. But what's cool about that is when you go to battle one of them, if you beat them, then you have the chance to unlock a character. If you don't beat them, though, you're back. Like, you have to go back and you have to redo some stuff to try to beat them again. It's not like you're always like right now in Venom. I'm leveled enough that I'm gonna play Noel every single time until I beat him. That's not how this game works. Like, you have a chance, but if you fail, you're going back. I don't know how many steps, but you have to redo some stuff to have another chance to beat them again.
See, I like the sound of this because maybe Venom's a cool machine. All right, having fun with that, but that was maybe like some of the things. So that sounds very cool because I do like the idea of you're leveling up, so you're getting some advantage in the game. Mm-hmm. But still got to play the dang pinball machine. Yep, and like do some stuff. And you're gonna have owlbears that are gonna try to smack you.
And there's co-op. So co-op is wow. So co-op means that I can level up my whole party. Jared can level up his whole party.
No, and so when Joel plays on my account.
And when we come together, now we have stronger characters. Super party. And we can work together on that.
There's
co-op. Yeah.
Yes. Good job, Stern.
Do I think D&D is going to be a top 10 pin? That's tough. I mean, the top 10 pins are top 10 for a reason. But honestly, everything that I saw yesterday, I'm truly, people think I'm a shill. People think, of course you like it because you work for Flip N Out. No.
Magic card reward. New packs.
Thank you.
We needed packs.
Thank you for that. We very much appreciate that. Honestly though, like this game is exactly what I like in pinball, which is give me something to explore. Give me different experiences. Give different modes. Give me, like, the fact that Elizabeth and Dwight have put 12 different modes in this game.
So many modes.
Not only do I get to experience and beat all of them, but then I have the ability where you can log in, so you can get achievements, but you can choose one shot. And what that does is it ignores all your progress. It lets you be back at square one, so you can go play certain modes again, or you can go try other things again.
I see what you did there, calling it a one-shot. That's a one-night campaign.
Yeah, there's one shot. And you start with 4 characters. So you can level up each of the 4 characters separately. So they can kind of... The way they said it was it's almost as if each character is its own party. Okay. So if I'm working my way through with this character and I've beat 5 modes... Well, then if I choose another character, I'll be back at 0 because I'm working those. So I may have 3 modes that I beat with them. So to truly beat the game means that you have to have unlocked, with all 4 characters, you would have to have beat every mode. So 12 modes plus all the dungeons, got to the final wizard mode, beat the final wizard mode, and done that 3 separate times to unlock the other 3 characters and do it all over again.
That's awesome.
So, hey, Todd, dude, thank you for the $10. That's very appreciated. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. So
thank you.
I don't know. That's where I'm at with the game. I'm really excited about it. Elizabeth, you're in chat. Is there anything I didn't say? Is there anything I didn't mention? Because honestly, everybody that was there yesterday at the Stern Media event, we just kept playing. And I don't know how much... If I saw anything more than once, it's because I was in a mode, I failed, and so when I logged back in for my next game, I was still in that. I could hop right back into that mode and keep playing. John, wow, thank you. What's going on? New stool fund. New stool. John, with those $20, maybe next we'll be a little higher. We'll get the new stool fund. That's awesome.
We're a super professional pinball thing.
Dragon Multiball is crazy. Yes, Dragon Multiball really is a multiball experience that is very different than something else that you've played. So, I don't know. I'm very excited for it. The code right now, they described it as CES code. Whoa, we got slow moto. Yes, I'm all over this. Basically, Star Trek was my childhood. Ride bike to cousin's basement for D&D. Star Trek Premium, gotta get this. Premium seems no-brainer, but people making good arguments for the Pro being... Okay, if you go premium, you're not going to regret it.
No.
I'm just saying there are people that feel like they have to get the premium of every game or else they're missing out. And I just said, Gomez was in the room and he goes, honestly, we had the hardest time deciding what do we take out of this game for the pro. And they're like, we can't like remove the dragon. So they're like, can we simplify the dragon? So they did that. They're like, we can't take out the gelatinous cube because magnets are awesome. And
how do they even work?
So then they were thinking about taking out the shield, but they're like, that's such a cool way to interact. Hey, Tom's here, everybody. Fox Cities. Hey, Tom, I just want to just curious, but we did play pinball together yesterday. Yeah. And when the game was over, one score was bigger than the other. Whoa, Colin, dude. Kinetis is coming in here.
What is happening?
Colin, it was great seeing you yesterday, man. That's very kind. Check out kineticist.com. Go vote on the Twippies. Colin, that's awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Buying the votes.
Yes. So, honestly, the game's great. The game's great. I'm excited to play it more. It is beta code. They basically said it's CES code. They set up the game very easy. Yes. And the scores were absurd. The scores were like, I ended up, my highest score of yesterday was 4 billion points with a B, billion.
What?
Yeah, 4 billion or bust, exactly. And it was all from the Dragon multi-ball. I basically beat it. I got into the celebration and I just kept bashing the dragon.
Don't be like, well, I didn't. You got 4 billion points.
Yeah.
That's so many points. No one knows how many points it is.
Oh, true.
That's
true.
so many points.
There was one time where the points that I had, which was like 3-something billion, was more than Tom. It was more than Tom.
It sounds
I'm
good
late
again.
to chat. Any word when the premiums? Zach may be able to answer that. So, long story short, I think LEs are going on the line next week. I would be very surprised if we had an LE to stream next week. What's probably going to happen is they will potentially be rolling out the week after that. Unfortunately, I'm out of town.
Boo.
So
I'm
earliest...
going to be streaming it by myself.
Yeah, right.
I want to play this thing.
I know. The earliest that I could see myself streaming this would probably be on the 29th. The 29th. So mark your calendars, everybody. January 29th.
January 29th.
Is
July.
the date that I'm looking in on having this so I can stream it for you guys. One thing I cannot comment on is the audio. There were multiple games in the arcade there at Stern. We're all playing it nonstop. We really could not hear the game, and that's just because you're in an arcade. So I will have direct audio. We will do our best. Elizabeth did say, though, the amount of callouts that are in this game, we obviously showed the voice talent that's in this game. I have no doubt the audio is going to be
That's
good.
some high running voice talent. I got a gut feeling there is a lot of dialogue.
I think it should be good.
Because there's a lot of modes.
No headphones. I did not bring any headphones. No. The music's incredible. Awesome. Okay. Geeski, music rocks. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Jared and Zach stream. Zach's going to come up. He'll settle the... Dude, okay. What is... bidet fun? I got a bidet. I'm good with that, but I will use that towards the stools. I love the idea of the stools fun. Hey, this is ridiculous. So thank you for everybody the super chats. Honestly, that's incredibly kind. Yes, they got Gerard Way.
Yeah.
Okay, so
My Chemical Romance.
Any other questions from chat so we can wrap up the D&D talk? Any other thoughts, Jared?
Because of how much I pay attention to pinball.
Yeah.
I was excited about this. The art package is sick.
Yep.
Seeing some of the footage from the super special people that got to go yesterday because Joel, you're so special.
Jared was invited.
I was invited,
and he decided to work.
And I'm bummed because this is right up my alley, and I think I'm very excited to.
Magnum Chris. They need to add an item that will spot you shots, an extra ball save, and call it Engelberth Enhanced Flipper to help your skill be not as bad as the Engelberth Bros.
We use it to be better.
Geeski, if you want to
mess it up.
If you want to put,
I still think Geeski there needs to be a shields up all the time mode for Jared. Just Jared.
Shield up all. Jared logs in whatever his insider account up, and the shield just goes up.
Just shield.
Up. No,
only for me.
Okay. Honestly, I know I sound like a shill, but it was just. It's a great game. I'm really I'm very excited to play it more. I'm very excited to play it more. Did I miss your opinion on Premium versus Pro? I just came in. My personal opinion is I think the Pro is a fantastic buy. Do I think the added features of the Premium are
Dragon's
awesome?
Pretty sick.
Yes, they are awesome. The The dragon, the way it moves, it can kind of block your shots when it's turning its head side to side. That is neat. The tournament players will probably hate that because they think he's blocking or getting in the way. But honestly, and then the way that the balls spit out with the 8-ball multi-ball definitely feels more chaotic on the Premium LE than it did on the Pro. With all that said, though, the Pro still very much felt like the game. It was like, I didn't feel like I was missing too much. So I think you're good either way. I just think the Pro for arcades and locations I think it's going to do very well. I honestly think it's
it looks sick. And Zach was saying in chat that there's people, because I know there were some people in the pinball world that were like, D&D. And Zach was saying at Solomon there's non-pinball people sniffing around and going because D&D is
just tournament players. We have feelings too. Hey, you got your points. Who needs feelings?
You got points. You got to play in your tournament. Stop it.
Yeah,
it's like me complaining about casual Magic players. All right, we give.
All right,
whatever.
Give me what I gotta. Oh. I had to mute the stream so I could get a cough out. Okay. All right. The game code. So, Geeski's still. They're on it. They're working on it. I think it's currently in the 0.7-ish range.
Geeski, get back to work.
It's going to be at 0.8 before it's released. But I mean, what I asked her though, I'm like, the modes are already in the game. The dungeons are in the game. The final wizard modes are not. There's 3 of them. But then there's just a whole lot more that they're going to add in when it comes to art. There were multiple artists there that I talked to, and it's literally cough means fart. No,
no. If it had been that, you would have seen me go.
Yeah,
I probably would have left the screen.
It was. There's a lot there. Like I'm ready. If I could stream the game right now, I would be streaming it, and I would have confidence that we could play the game for 2 hours straight, and it would not like you would see everything. Like. Not you wouldn't see everything. It's not like you'd run out or anything like that.
Okay, I'll be back.
No, Jared's got to get a drink. My 3 favorite hobbies: pinball, D&D, and Critical Role. Dude, it's legit, man. I think if you are a D&D fan, you will like this game. If you're a fantasy type fan, dragons, that kind of stuff, you will like this game. And then if you're looking for a game that just feels different, where it's like this game is just a journey. I'm just playing modes. I'm enjoying a story. I'm chipping away at this adventure, you will enjoy this game. So that's what, and that was the thing talking to Travis and Tom. You know, Travis works for the pinball company, so he's looking at it from a sales standpoint, and he's like, honestly, you know, we're going to market this game differently because it is a different game. It feels different. And that excites me. That excites me a lot.